you're going to always be waiting for someone else to give you resources to do good, or you can go create the money and have the resources yourself. And so, yes, it is about the money, because if we want to have freedom of our time, if we want to impact our communities in the way that we desire, we got to have the resources to do that. And we can't be approaching this stuff from a like, I just want to make a little bit of money.
Hey there, you all, and welcome to Futureland365 podcast and radio show. I'm Nikki B, and I'm so excited that you are here today because we have an amazing conversation ready for you. But you guys, of course, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter. And you can go on to Futureland365.com. Why? Because we have events and resources available for you 365 days a year, right here on the podcast and radio show, where we highlight Cleveland's bold innovators, entrepreneurs, and creatives. And we have just that today. But not just that, we have a strategist, a powerhouse young lady who is in leadership and making bold moves. So I'm excited to share with you all our guests. And I don't want to waste time. I want to get right to it, you all. You know, I play around a little bit, but we're getting to it today, okay? You guys, we have the president of the President's Council, Miss Danielle Sydnor.
Hello.
Hi there.
Great to be here. The president of the president.
The president of the presidents. What? And she's looking very much presidential today, you all. Okay.
I will take that.
Yes, she's got it going on. I love her hair look. I love this look.
Thank you.
It's giving I'm the boss, and you have to listen to me because I know what I'm talking about.
That's definitely the goal. So mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. So you have a busy day today.
I do have a busy day. It started early.
Yeah.
After a few hours of sleep from traveling for a long time. But I'm glad that this is a part of my busy day.
Yeah.
And then I get to end it with some entrepreneurs later on tonight.
I love that so much. And thank you for taking time out of your busy day. It took a lot of coordinating between both of us and flexibility, really, to make this happen. And I think that's important, right?
It is.
Especially in leadership, to be flexible and adaptable.
Yeah.
Because if not, if you're stern and you're strict, you can never bend and you can't really compromise the needs of those around you who are following you. Not that they're followers, but for them to know that you're there supporting them.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I think that it takes flexibility to be accessible. Mm-hmm. When you are very hard and very rigid, then sometimes you actually miss out on the opportunities. People think that when someone makes a request of you, it's just something that benefits them. But I have found in my leadership journey that oftentimes I get just as much out of saying yes to the opportunities. And so as much as I can avail myself when people reach out, I really do try and make myself available.
Yeah, I love that so much. And it really says a lot about your leadership and your leadership style.
Yes.
But also what you've learned from others. Mm-hmm. I think that's so important.
Yeah, I had great mentors, some formal and some informal, just that I looked at as examples of the type of person that I wanted to be, and really staying rooted and grounded in the people that make it possible for me to be called a leader is really important to me. If you don't have anybody following you, and yes, sometimes we get nervous about that word follow, but I've had people that say you're just on a walk by yourself, right? If nobody's following you, you just want to walk by yourself.
Goodness. Whew. Take that in. If no one's following you, you're walking by yourself. And it's good to have community. Yeah. It is refreshing to have community. And I also believe it reassures your confidence. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that's so important. But let's get to know Ms. Danielle a little bit more and how we arrived here. Yes. So for those who may not know, you've built a strong reputation as both business leader and advocate. Mm-hmm. And thank you so much for being that. Can you share a little bit about your journey and how you arrived here?
Yeah. So I think everybody, when they talk about their journey, they probably go back to like, well, when I was a lad.
Yeah.
But actually, that is a part of my journey. I had the recent opportunity to be reconnected with my kindergarten and first grade teacher.
Wait,
I had the same person that taught me kindergarten and first grade. My mom found her on Facebook. I was like so enamored and connected to this teacher, right? That I was in her kindergarten class, and I didn't know this until reconnecting with her, that when I got to first grade, we used to line up outside. I grew up in Sacramento. You lined up on the playground the first day of school. And so I saw her and I got in her line, and she's like, no, you're not in my class. And she said I would not get out of line.
Oh my goodness.
To the point that I like laid out on the floor and cried and acted a fool so much that the principal called my mom, was like, we're going to put her in her class, but you have to tell her tomorrow she's not. And the teacher was just like, no, let her stay in the class. So I had the same teacher for kindergarten and first grade.
Oh, I love that.
But she was sharing with me that even in kindergarten and first grade, I would have all the kids line up and sit down on the carpet and imitate her. She would pull us together for like story time and like current events or something like that. And if folks were getting out of line, I was kind of jumping in. And so I share that because I do think that there are some certain things that are just like inherent within us. Mm-hmm. There are other things that we cultivate and that maybe we adapt to over time. But I didn't choose to be a leader. It's something that I've always been. And I'm just grateful that on this journey, I haven't strayed away from what's most important to me. And that's creating more access for other people in the spaces and the things that I've led in. What keeps me excited and what keeps me motivated is not just what I accomplish for myself. I get so much more gratitude when I can see someone else that didn't really believe in themselves accomplish something that they thought was impossible.
Yeah, that's, I just love that story so much. Yeah. I can just see the little version. Yes. So little Danielle dressed like this.
Yeah. Probably with some ponytails.
With the ponytails and the ribbons or the bobos.
And the bobos, yeah. And some breasts on the end.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Emulating and replicating her example, who she thought was her example. And what's the teacher's name?
Mrs. Joyce Pulley. And interestingly, she was one of the few Black teachers in the school district, and she had moved to Sacramento from Jackson, Mississippi.
What?
So, you've got this Black woman who was a very dark-skinned Black woman who was intentional when her first grade year came of taking on children that the district had identified as challenged, which is why I was not supposed to be in her class. Like, I was a high achiever, and she was always the one that they would bring other kids into her class that they were having behavior issues or whatever. And so she was like, I was taking on all the kids that everybody else, they couldn't figure out how to work with. And then here you come, like, no, I'm coming to this class too. Yeah. And so I just think that, again, that your steps are ordered, even at that little age. I think that all of those experiences, because today people talk to me about how confident of a public speaker I am. But another story from Mrs. Pulley, there was this book called Honey, I Love, and by Eloise Greenfield.
I'm taking notes, you all.
And we had to, I was reading before I went to kindergarten because I had older siblings, and I was the kid that, like, if my brothers were doing it, I wanted to do it too. And so my brother, who's 2 years older than me, would bring his books home and say, look, this is my baby book. You can have this. So it was always a competition. So I was reading.
You. Yeah, yes, for sure.
Right. I was reading by the time I was in kindergarten already. And so I memorized things very well. Memory was my favorite game. And so I was reading this book, and it's called Honey, I Love. And so I memorized this poem. I used to say that poem so much that I did not ever want to hear Honey, I Love again. But I can almost recite most of it now. But I say that because her influencing me to be a strong, confident reader, and then to memorize this poem and giving me agency to do that. Now I get up in front of audiences and I speak and I do these things, but it started from there, being confident to read a poem and to say that poem over and over and over in front of groups of people. And so all of those experiences shaped who I am as a leader because I was instilled with confidence from those around me.
I love that so much. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation, because I didn't know this was going to happen here. I didn't know Ms. Danielle was going to share this pivotal moment in her life where it's the prime example that representation matters.
It does.
Right? Not only representation, but, right, being your natural genius leadership powerhouse self, right? And being the, what do you want to call that? Like the superhero for the underdog, right? Ms. Pulley had a class full of individuals who probably, the reason they just probably didn't believe in themselves or did not have a strong enough foundation to be able to excel the way that you did, or to have brothers and a family that just poured so much that you were able, because you had so much poured into you, you were able to pour it out and do it confidently. Yeah. So I love that so much. And it pretty much is a precursor to who we see today. No, it's not pretty much. It is a precursor to who we see today. Yeah. You know, a couple of examples that I'm thinking about that people may be familiar is the real Black Friday, right? Yep. That is so cool. And then also a taste of Black Cleveland, right? So both of these initiatives, events, situations where you have individuals who may not have the visibility, right, or a strong foundation, but you help to create those places and spaces for the underdogs, if you will, right?
So I'm going to give a shout out to my business partner, Larice Purnell. Larice Purnell is the brainchild and founder of the Real Black Friday.
I love brainchild.
How we actually started working together, I was president of the Cleveland branch. Well, actually, at the time, I was chair of the Economic Development Committee for the Cleveland branch of the NAACP. And we were having conversations with the Cleveland Cavaliers around the transformation of the building downtown when it used to be Quicken Loans Arena before it became Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and now Rocket Arena. And so in 2012, when they initially came to us, the syntax needed to be renewed again. And I was just a member of the Economic Development Committee, but our leaders at the time, Vanessa Whiting and Wendell Turner, used to drag me along to all of the important conversations. And so I had gone to some meetings and I understood that they needed support from the Black community, not as a vote, but just to encourage council and others to kind of renew this tax that was already on the books. And so in those conversations, the NAACP was asking tough questions about, you know, what does the minority spend look like inside the building? What suppliers do you have? What are you doing? So fast forward to 2017, here they are again asking about support for an initiative, similar type of thing. There's a tax that was already in existence. They needed the revenue to continue to be applied towards renovations at the building. And so at the time now, I was chair of that committee. And so I recalled the conversations that we'd had 5 years prior around the very same thing. And so
I'm like, amazing how those things
come full circle, right? And so in those conversations, one of the things that was evident to me is we were going to talk a lot about construction, which is what happens often when people start to talk about where dollars are spent in the community. And so we have a very robust organization that was already kind of addressing how much of the minority spend would take place on the construction side, Black contractors and others. But what I was very focused on is after the building is built, where is the money going after that? Because we could fixate on that one-time dollar that's made from the construction, or what about that annual spend that happens, you know, every single year? And so we identified a couple of spaces. One was in the food service, concessions, and otherwise, because if you look in the Black community, specifically, we are overrepresented in like restaurants, bar, entertainment. That's where a lot of our businesses are. But I did some quick research, and there was like one Black-owned restaurant inside of the arena at the time, even though you have a league and an industry where we're overrepresented, you know, on the court. And so we started asking questions, and we got to this place, and a Taste of Black Cleveland was birthed. Initially, it was called the Launch Test Kitchen Business Development Experience and whatever. And I reached out to Larice because what I try and be as a leader is someone who recognizes where my strengths are, you know, what I have access to. I knew the politics. I knew the government affairs. I didn't have as much of the relationships with the restaurant community, and Larice did. And so he said, hey, Danielle, I'm interested in working together, but I don't want to be in a situation where you just call me and you ask for restaurants. I give you names. Like, if we're going to partner, I really want to partner. And we did that. And that actually morphed into us starting an organization together called Black Collabs, because I was NAACP, he was the Real Black Friday, and people were like, what is this thing that you guys are doing together? And so we created something so that folks didn't feel like I have to pick one of you guys to work with, because we were end up collaborating together all the time anyway. And It was like, let's just formalize it. And so Black Collabs now produces A Taste of Black Cleveland.
See, you guys, she really had to break that down and to help not only you all understand, but to help me understand truly. And that's what a leader actually does, right? Like, okay, yes, I'm a part of this. However, this is a collective. Yeah. This is a partnership and a collaboration for sure. And we can't elevate our community unless we collaborate.
Right? Is so important. Yeah. And for some reason, we have been bamboozled. And so this myth that collaboration is competition. And I refuse to believe it, because in my corporate experiences that I've had, I've watched other communities collaborate and build wealth together. And even if they're not best of friends, and that's something that I stress, is that I don't have to want to go to dinner with you every week to partner with you and to be in business and to do something. And we've got to change that narrative that the only way that we can work together, if this is my bestie, like we're going to limit ourselves around opportunities if we continue to do that.
You guys, we can continue going without taking a pause here, but we absolutely need to take a pause. And we'll be right back. We'll talk more about the President's Council impact on our community as well. Miss Danielle, girl, you are a well of knowledge. So we'll be right back, you all.
WOVU 95.9 FM, Our Voices United, a community radio station. Our mission is to provide an inclusive and participatory media platform that connects, engages, and informs every citizen and stakeholder of our community with the goal of achieving ongoing social and economic progress for all.
Hey there, you all, and welcome back to Futureland365 podcast and radio show. I'm Nikki B, and I am here with the awesome, the amazing, and dynamic Miss Danielle Sydnor, president of the President's Council.
Yes, that's me.
So welcome back. I'm glad that you're still here with us.
Glad to be here.
And you guys, I'm glad that you're still here with us as well. If you're tuning in on YouTube, guess what? If you missed it, you can hit rewind. You can hit rewind, because we definitely covered a lot in the beginning of this conversation. So now we're going to get more into the President's Council and its impact. So we're just going to start there. And so the President's Council has been a cornerstone for Black businesses development for over 2 decades. Yeah. And so can you break down the mission and how it's evolved in today's economic climate? And I wanted to start there because I know a lot of people who are like, President's Council, well, what is that? Yeah. Is that student council?
Right. But what do you guys actually do?
What do you actually do, and how do you support the community, and how has it evolved within this economic climate?
Yeah. So the President's Council, very simply put, is designed to be an engine for Black business growth in Northeast Ohio. So very broad kind of, mission. We actualize that in a few ways. We have 4 distinct entities under one umbrella. So you could think about the President's Council like you would the Greater Cleveland Partnership, but focused on growth for Black businesses and Black businesses in the region. So we have a business chamber, which is a 501c6, very similar to any other business chamber, that's focused on creating opportunity of value, networking, resource development for Black entrepreneurs. We also have a foundation, which is designed to provide technical assistance and services in a subsidized way to entrepreneurs that need that, to also to expose young people to entrepreneurship as a career path. We have a political action committee, so that way we can advocate directly to folks that are running for office and be putting dollars into their hands and into organizations. And then we have a for-profit investment group that really comes together and pools their dollars to do development in the community. And so how most people interact with the President's Council is through our foundation or the business chamber, which is what I'm really excited about growing under my leadership.
Yeah, I love that so much. Breaking down exactly which components and how people can actually interact with the President's Council. And thank you for sharing that. I have a question in regard to small businesses, right? Entrepreneurs. Let's say someone has a media company.
Yeah.
Right?
Might know somebody like that.
So how would someone who is starting out as a media company, or that's how they are thinking they identify their business, how would the President's Council support or help that individual or that business?
Yeah. So the focus, like I said, under my leadership is to kind of reinvigorate the business chamber. So a traditional business chamber, you think about people joining something like that because they see it as something that provides reciprocal value. You join and you get access to certain things. So networking opportunities, maybe opportunities to get access to resources that you get at a discount. So group buying oftentimes is a part of a chamber, technical assistance, access to experts in your field or in parts of your business where you need support. And so like today, we had an event with Eaton Corporation with some of our investment group members and some other leaders in the community. One of them happens to be the chief human resources officer at one of the local companies, and they're interested in providing support to our chamber. And one of the things I know is when I deal with small businesses, they don't have an HR department and a marketing department and a sales department. And
it's just one person.
It's one person doing all those things. Right?
Or their mother or father.
Or their cousin who's not necessarily qualified.
Exactly.
But you know, they're getting it done. And so what we want to be able to do is bring these large corporations that have these robust teams to the table to provide that type of coaching and assistance to our entrepreneurs. So how someone would engage with the President's Council is to become a member of the chamber. That would be a great first step. And then becoming a member, you'll get access to the resources that we have. What I'm interested in right now, though, is learning from more entrepreneurs about what they would call value. Like, why would you join a chamber? What would you be expecting to receive to ensure that we're delivering the services and the value that people actually want to pay for?
Yeah, I love that so much. It's what do you see value as? Yeah. Right?
Because I don't want to assume that. Everybody's different, what they're looking for. Exactly. I can't be all things to all people, but if I can get a critical mass of things that I know that folks are interested in, then we can kind of curate those experiences and those resources for them.
Yeah, I love that so much. Asking questions and getting better at asking questions, right? Or and that helps you gain more knowledge so that you can serve better, right? So I love that so much. Talking about serving better, right? And pouring out what are some, or have you experienced so far, or have you heard of any of the success stories from the President's Council? Yeah,
so one of the great things about the President's Council is the group that really kind of brought the President's Council together, Brian Hall, Wendell Turner, and Saffold, I can't remember his first names, escaping me, 30 years ago, so 1996, they started the President's Council, and it was to be able to have a seat at the table, because at that time, when people were asking questions about the health of Black businesses or the state of Black business, one of the members told me, Lonnie Coleman, was like, they would call a politician or a preacher, and we're like, hey, we're over here, we're the business guys, call us. And so they started a group so that way they could be a voice for other Black businesses. And so over the 30-year history, one of the programs that they had was Emerging Entrepreneurs. entrepreneurs. So one of the examples is a husband and wife couple, Nicole and Orlando Cumberlander. They own 2 Paul Mitchell cosmetology schools and 2 salons. And they were in one of the early cohorts of the emerging entrepreneurs before they became owners of the cosmetology school. And they really credit going through that experience with giving them the confidence to not just be salon owners. And there's nothing wrong with being just a salon owner, right? But for what they were trying to accomplish, they were looking for like, what's that next thing that we can do? And so now they're running a business that's doing a couple $1 million a year in revenue. And a part of that was getting exposed to the other side of the business. So it's one thing to know your craft well. It's another thing to know the business of your craft.
I don't really have any words because after you said clearing a couple of $1 million, starting out as having one idea, right? And building on this skill set here, but like, who can I reach out to help me multiply, scale this idea and this skill that we have here? So going through that is so important. I think that individual or that business will be now is emerging entrepreneurs. Is that still
a program we have?
Yeah,
so we're retooling it a bit because when they started the first cohort of emerging entrepreneurs, you didn't have as many small business service organizations as you do today. And I like to use the example, like if you're looking for the equivalent of a high school diploma in Cleveland for entrepreneurial services, then you can go everywhere, right? There's like, and this is not a slight at any organization, but a lot of organizations are dealing with businesses in the early stage. So ECDI, Urban League, Jumpstart, that are providing kinds of services. And then if you want to step up to like a bachelor's degree, you might have programs like Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. And then if you want to go a next step, to me, that is where we actually start to falter in terms of the services that are available for business owners. And so I think the unique value proposition of the President's Council is you have entrepreneurs that are doing well in their business that we have as human capital inside our organization. And so what I want to be able to kind of bring back to the forefront in Cleveland is access to that type of mentorship and guidance and example from people that are not just talking about it from a theoretical standpoint, but they live it, they breathe it, they've done it. And I think that's a really powerful tool that we have inside of the President's Council ecosystem.
Wow, I think that's amazing. The way that you break things down from a level where people can understand and you can visually see what you're talking about. So having a business, you're just starting it out. Okay, this is the level here. Yeah. Which is great. I think that's important.
You got to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere.
You do not get to college without going to kindergarten.
That's it. Don't despise these small beginnings,
that's
right? And then having another level of that, okay, this is great too. But what about the individuals who have probably scaled, but they need to go further, or they want to expand, or they want to really have the infrastructure to keep this going and to sustain it. So I think that's amazing the way that you broke those things down. And as I was stating before, my brain went squirrel. I think the individual or the business that I was referring to has a media company, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I think I need to tap in here. Yeah. Right? I think that business really needs to tap in.
Yeah, because the thing that I would encourage folks that are listening to think about is scaling is scaling is scaling. Sometimes we can get very fixated on the only way that I can scale is if I find a mentor or a person that's in my exact specific industry and they tell me exactly how they did it. Yes, there's going to be some value in, again, that nuance and understanding. You know, media is obviously different than food. However, having good, solid operations and systems that are repeatable, understanding a problem, a need, or a want that you are solving for is a core foundation of any successful, scalable business. Identifying what your business model is. Are you business to consumer? Or are you business to business? Those are the spaces that, as I work with entrepreneurs and I teach a class tonight, I talk a lot about is if you don't get that part kind of figured out, you can have a lot of great content. And you can have a lot of good products, but you will struggle at building a business. And that's what we have to be doing, is building businesses.
Right. And building business is processes and systems and the infrastructure.
Yeah. And it's not fun. You know,
Yeah,
I honestly,
it's not fun.
I hire executors and I hire operators anywhere that I go, anything that I'm doing, even in my consulting practice, when I have projects, I outsource that because I know I'm a visionary. I know I'm the big picture person. Send me in to close the deal. Send me in to shake the trees. But do not ask me to do the follow up this and the that and the other, because it's not going to happen. And I'm at the age and in the point in my career where I know I'm not trying to learn those skills. That's not who I am. Yeah. I'm going to hire for the things that are not my strengths, my weaknesses, and I'm going to lean in more and more and more and deeper into the things that I'm strong at.
That's perfect. I love that. And so those individuals, and mostly here we have creatives and innovators and visionaries and those things. So how do we get there? How do we ask ourselves the question okay, what don't I like? Is it something simple? Is it a test, an aptitude test? How do we figure out, okay, I'm an administrative person. I'm the operator. I can execute. I'm relational. I'm technical. Yeah. How do we figure that part out?
So there are a couple of ways. One, I think that reinforced some things I already knew about myself was Clifton Strength Finders. I had an executive coach that used that particular tool. And after taking it, I'm like, yep, it's exactly me. And the person that read over my results was like, I have never met a person that doesn't have any executing kind of strength in their top 10. I'm like, yeah, I am not. I'm an executor in the sense of delegate, process, oversee, but do not make me do the actual thing. And I know that. And I was like, I'm not trying to be. The other thing that I say is tasks and activities where you dread and it takes you a long time to complete, it's because that's not your strength. The things that come naturally easy to you, you're like, oh, give me 10 of those. I knock it out. Yeah. But you give me one of these things that's not my strength. And it takes me
10 hours.
Yeah. So you shouldn't be doing it, right?
Yeah. Oh,
because your
goodness.
time is money. And so you could pay somebody to do that thing in 1 hour that takes you 10, and you could use 9 hours to go make some more money.
Professor Danielle has showed up because she is teaching a master class, just small, on the small scale, this right here. I think that was just a revelation here. If you guys didn't see the light bulb, just like ding, just went off here. I'll be honest here and share and be transparent as well. I've been going through this transformation, stretching season in my life. I would say the last 3 to 6 months, and I've been so hard on myself for doing things I just gotta do it. I just gotta do it. And yes, there does come to a degree, I have to do it. Yes. But at the same time, girl, no, because you don't like doing it. And that's okay. It's okay. Now we need to write that on the list. Don't like doing this. So this is the individual right here that I need to hire. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And I'll encourage you this, Nikki, as you scale and grow a business, it means that maybe I don't have the resources immediately to bring this person in a full-time capacity. But in the world of creatives and this gig economy that we are all kind of in right now, you have many more people who are looking for that extra side hustle. I just had a conversation with my sister that's 2 years younger than me. She works for Amazon in operations. And I was like, girl, I could find you $30,000 in consulting money, I'm sure, to help these entrepreneurs build out operations, because it's a struggle for them. It's second nature for you because this is what you do. Yeah. And so we have to be more creative in thinking about how do we go find people that can assist us with the things that we need if we don't have this big budget to bring somebody on in a full-time capacity.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I think really the end goal, I think for all of us is to it's not necessarily about the money, right? It's about having more time.
Well, I mean, I say both, okay. Right? And the reason I say that is I want us to be okay acknowledging that it actually takes resources to live, number one, and to do good. And I learned this from my great aunt, who I've learned so many things from. When I finished my degree in finance, my brother was getting married and I went out to Sacramento and we were sitting at dinner and I was like, I want to do credit education and financial literacy in disadvantaged communities. And she said, you can't make no money doing that. She was like, you need to go make some money and then you can do good. And I was like, I can't believe she would say that, right? Because this is a person, my hero, who I looked up to, who was an big time person in advocacy. But what she was saying is, you're going to always be waiting for someone else to give you resources to do good, or you can go create the money and have the resources yourself. And so, yes, it is about the money, because if we want to have freedom of our time, if we want to impact our communities in the way that we desire, we got to have the resources to do that. And we can't be approaching this stuff from I just want to make a little bit of money and enough to get by. And you come and take care of you. I want to make enough resources to impact people in a significant way. And I believe that God will honor that, because it's not a selfish motive.
Yeah. I love that so much. I stand corrected like a man in orthopedic shoes, as my dad would say, all the time. And I was like, Dad, what you saying? But it's true. It's absolutely true. And we have to be cognizant and be more aware of the words that we're stating, even the phrases that we think, oh, that sounds so good. Well, no, it's true. Make the money. Yeah. Make as much money as you possibly can and more, right? So that you can go back and do good.
That's right.
And more.
And more. and more. And then you'll recognize, and the time you'll have the time.
You'll have the time. Yeah. Because I think that happens in different layers. You're doing good by finding someone that does the things that you don't like to do. That's supporting someone's family, someone's vision, someone's idea. And then also you're doing good because you're just truly doing good. Yeah. Right?
And I always feel like, and it's something, I don't know if I heard it somewhere or it's just something that I say, is that who are you denying the opportunity to live in their purpose because you're not living in yours?
Can you look right there? Say it again.
I said, who are you denying the opportunity to live in their purpose because you're not living in yours? Yeah. There's somebody waiting for you to start the podcast so they can record it, right? There's somebody waiting for me to do the thing. And we sit sometimes and well, I'm just not going to do it because I'm not ready. I'm not this and not that. And so there's somebody else who needs you to say yes to that risk, yes to that opportunity, so they can be doing the thing that they need to do as well.
So we love that so much. And because we love it so much, and it almost took my breath away. So I need to catch my breath. So you guys, we'll be right back right here on Futureland365 on 95.9 WOVU. It's Nikki B here, and Professor Danielle has showed up as well. We'll be right back. Hey there, you all, and welcome back to Futureland365 podcast and radio show. It's Nikki B here, and we have Professor Danielle.
I'm going to take that title.
Yes, please take it. You're dressed as the professor. Yes, ma'am.
Today, with my little slingbacks on.
With her slingbacks. I love them so much. She complimented my shoes, but I said, oh, no, child. I love yours, right? What size do you wear?
7.5.
Oh, darn it. I'm at 8.5. Oh.
In another life.
In another life, yeah. So now we're going to have a little bit of fun, you guys, because she shared a lot of gems and jewels and resources and tools that we're able to use in our lives, not just in our lives, but specifically as business owners, leaders, entrepreneurs, all those things. So we're taking all those, right? Yes, we are. You guys have them in your notes, because I have notes here. I even have the Honey I Love book.
Yes.
And my notes as well. So you guys, if you're listening right now, if you're listening to us on YouTube, drop in the chat, Honey I Love book. Yeah, Honey I Love book. So, all right, that'll be in my library. I have to say it that way. So now we're just going to have a little bit of fun. I have some quick, light little things here to ask you. It's more of a this or that kind of thing.
Got it.
Right?
I can do that.
Yeah. And just a little bit more about your personality. So the first thing is morning motivation. Is it coffee, tea, or something else?
Double shot of espresso every morning. That's what I do.
So that prompts me to ask you, do you have an espresso machine at home?
I have an espresso.
See,
yes.
She seems like an espresso at home kind of girl.
Yes. It gets right to the point.
Yes.
Less calories from the milk. I just put a little bit of creamer in and I'm out the door.
What kind of, just regular creamer?
Well, I got the funny allergies to everything. So I'm a almond milk, oat milk kind of blend.
Yeah.
Non-dairy creamer.
Same here. Yeah, I can't do the creamer. So it has to be oat or almond. So that's cool. I love that. So your coffee, me too.
Yes.
Well, espresso.
Yes.
Espresso. Okay, song that gets you hyped before a big event. So event specifically. What song were you listening to before you came here?
Oh, you know what? I don't even know if I had any music on before I came
because
here.
You had a day, so it was like, gotta get here,
what
gotta
was I
get
doing?
there.
I don't know if I was on a call. What was I doing? But I would say a couple of songs that one that always comes to mind, I don't know why, is Tonight's Gonna Be a Good Night. I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. Okay,
yes.
I love that. That's
so that's
good.
one of mine for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Black Eyed Peas, right?
Black Eyed Peas, yeah.
Do you like Black Eyed Peas?
The food? Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
I have to have mine with cornbread.
Yes, made correctly. Because otherwise,
My grandmother taught me hot water cornbread. So I can make hot water
I've
cornbread.
never made hot water cornbread. I do eat it. I like it.
You got to sop it up with that.
Yes.
All right. Favorite Black-owned business you're loving right now?
Favorite Black-owned business that I'm loving right now. This feels like it can get me in trouble because
I was thinking the same.
Well, what about mine? But I'm gonna go out here and take the hand slap as it comes. I'm gonna say Pearl's Kitchen in Midtown. I have such an affinity to just the food, the product, the service, but also Tawana's story. She was one of the folks that participated in A Taste of Black Cleveland in its early iterations, and so to see her grow is just exciting. And the food is slapping.
Yes, I would have to second that. There's so many others, right, that
Yes.
come to mind. But I do love it also. I love their food. I had the opportunity to go and try out the restaurant. And oh my goodness, the food is absolutely amazing. The ambiance, the atmosphere, the environment is just,
You hear
and
a live
the
band.
Customer service.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
She's a friend of the Futureland365 podcast as well. And so one of the things that she stated that sets her apart is her customer service.
Yeah, she's really about it. And it's interesting when you talk about your story before we were on camera about being from the healthcare field.
Yes.
She was a registered nurse in the ER and moved into entrepreneurship. And so
By accident.
by intention.
By intention.
She thought it was an accident.
It was purposeful.
It was purposeful.
Already
it was already in her. It was already in her. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, standing corrected like a man in orthopedic shoes. Thanks, Dad. One word to describe your leadership style.
Authentic. I'd like to tell people what you see is what you get. And sometimes people are challenged by that because they perceive me to be this person that they think is like very polished and rigid and going to be a certain way. And then when I am like, oh no, I'm the same Danielle that you see at Pearl's, that you see at church, you see in the grocery store. I'm not turning into a different person because I'm in this corporate environment or I'm over here. So be ready to have and receive all of me wherever you see me because that's who I am.
I love that. What's coming to mind right now is character, right? We understand that what's in the alphabet, characters, they don't change.
They don't.
A is A, B is B, C is C. Danielle is Danielle.
Yeah, that is me.
All the time.
All the time.
I love that. Okay, now finish this sentence. The future of Black business is
on the way up. Yeah, I mean, I really do feel like if we don't take anything away from this moment, we've got to remember that our ancestors did more with less. The things that we are facing today are not new. They are a recycling of some of the same challenges that we have faced in generations before. But what is new is that we have even more resources if we choose to utilize them. And so the power of things like podcasts to reach people all across the country, the world, in fact, the fact that we can collaborate, that we have the freedom to organize ourselves without fear of consequence, we've got to use that. And I think that because we know that, we are on our way up.
I love that. On the way up. It's up and it's stuck.
It's up and it's stuck.
I love that so much. So now, you guys, it's time to say goodbye. I almost felt like that was a Sesame Street. It's time now to say goodbye.
This was my
something
favorite
like that.
show growing up. Now it's time to say goodbye to our...
We know.
Mickey Mouse.
Yes. All right. So, Ms. Danielle, thank you so much for your time here. I'm truly inspired. And I've gained clarity in this conversation. And I'm hopeful that our audience has gleaned the same from this conversation. So I want to thank you for your authenticity,
Thank you.
Embracing this role, but also not, you know how they say you bring value. No, you add value, like you add to the room.
Thank you.
So there's more space for a bigger table, a longer table, a wider table, more chairs. To come to the table to add others' value, their dreams, their ideas, so that we can have more of an impact within our community, so those Black businesses can go up, can continue to go up.
That's the goal.
All right. So what advice would you share with someone who is... has a Black business or has a minority-owned business? What advice would you give to them if they're looking to scale and they're looking for resources?
Yeah. So the first thing I'd say is just start at whatever level you're at. So if you're already existing and you're trying to do the next thing, get started, do it, try it, talk to people that you think have done it before. One of the ways that I have been able to have personal success and success in the businesses and organizations that I've run is to communicate with people that have already done what I'm trying to do. We spend a lot of time talking to people who are at our same level, who are having the same issues and challenges, and that becomes an echo chamber. So find someone who's already done it and ask them for 10, 15 minutes. Don't ask them for an hour. They don't have time for that, but ask for a 15-minute conversation. And if it's worth it, they'll give you more time. The other thing that I say is utilize the resources that are out here. The power of technology, we didn't really get to in the conversation, but artificial intelligence, there's almost nothing that you can't get access to now because of all of these different AI tools, Copilot, ChatGPT, all kinds of things. So use them. Don't be intimidated by it. And then think about utilizing resources that are free and accessible out there to help point you in the right direction to maybe some resources that you do have to pay for, because if you plan to make money off of something, you probably need to put some of your own money in. These are not nonprofits. If you're a for-profit, why is someone going to give you a bunch of free stuff for you to go make a whole bunch of money? So how do you put some of your own skin and resources in the game if you want to scale and grow?
I love that so much. And finally, how would we reach out to the President's Council if we're looking for resources? Yeah.
So you can feel free to email me directly, Danielle at thepresidentscouncil.com, DANIELLE at the presidents with an S. council.com. You can also visit our website, thepresidentscouncil.com, and get connected.
I love that so much. So you guys, Miss Danielle Sydnor has laid it out plain. And of course she did. Why? Because she is the president of the President's Council. And I'm grateful that she is in this role. I feel as if though this was perfect for her.
I'm excited about being here. It gets back to my roots. My family was a family of entrepreneurs. And so I'm glad to be able to have impact here in Cleveland doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think this is amazing. Looking forward to all the amazing things that you are going to be doing and the opportunities created for business owners, creatives, innovators any of you guys, right? Yes. All of you guys.
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier. And myself, I think I have, again, like I stated, gained clarity on what I need to do and who I need to reach out to.
All right.
So, all right, you guys. Well, that's it. That's all right here on Futureland365. I'm Nikki B, and we were here on WOVU 95.9 with the awesome, the amazing president of the President's Council, Professor Danielle Sydnor. All right, you guys. Till next time. Peace.